Plavix was a multi-million dollar selling pharmaceutical. It was the flagship prescribed drug of Bristol-Myers Squibb at the time. And 7 years before it was going off patent, the organization was taking all the necessary steps to reinvent itself and continue investing in the very rich pipeline that they had going at the time. And at the time when when all this was happening, the organization was about 44,000 employees globally.
Mm-hmm.
And my role at the time, I was an HR associate director of HR in the United States, and I was supporting global financial shared services and some of the information management teams that were directly impacted by this change, right? So the organization was thinking about a number of ways to continue focusing on the core value or the value chain that Bristol-Myers Squibb provided, right? Which are
Mm-hmm.
developing and selling pharmaceuticals in, I think it was 6 or 7 disease areas. And so that was the business plan. That was the business strategy. And how are they going to get there? So how they got there was looking at some of their portfolio of organizations that had been part of the Bristol-Myers Squibb family. So I remember it started with this over-the-counter piece of the business. People might remember Excedrin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excedrin back in the, I would say, early 2000s was a Bristol-Myers Squibb drug and sold that piece to Bayer. And at
Mm-hmm.
that time, there were some employees that were part of my client group that were now going to become Bayer employees,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then there was this next step where they were looking at their medical device company, Convatec, and a medical imaging company. And those were sold to a different buyer. Then the next set of employees that were Bristol-Myers employees, they were being sent over to be employees of those new ventures. And then there was Mead Johnson Nutrition, which was an infant nutrition company, global organization that I would say about 5,000 or so global employees. And they never did find the right buyer for that business. So 2009, February of 2009, Mead Johnson Nutrition decides to become independent, go off on their own. They were publicly traded stock on the New York Stock Exchange. So they were not only selling off businesses and making business decisions in that regard,